Alright, so I am back with another level cap video, this time not an attempt, but a successful run. So, this is my first time making it to level 10k, other than Void Cascade. And so, I did it solo, and I had a lot of fun, honestly. I did most of it last night. I got to about round 30 last night. But then, I died, lost my melee crescendo stacks, and long story short, stuff started dying a lot slower, and the drop rate seemed like it went down. Maybe the drop rate was always low, but it was just taking forever to get keys. So honestly, it took me about 2 hours to get to round 30, but those last 10 rounds took 3 hours. So basically, it took me about 5 hours to hit level cap, it took a long ass time. So you'll see in the footage here. I just want to give my thoughts. Those Kuva demolishers you see, I basically just gave up killing those things. So my build was a corrosive raw damage. I had corrosive and heat for some armor strip, but my main source of damage was corrosive damage. And I was able to kill the some of the alloy, the Grineer units that take increased radiation damage, but the Kuva Guardians, for some reason, I don't know, they're just like freaking impossible to kill. I mean, it didn't help that I was dealing corrosive damage because they're weak to radiation, but I don't know if they have damage attenuation. Also, their head is like impossible to see. So yeah, honestly, I just gave up killing them. Luckily, I didn't get any like energy drain ones, because that always sucks when an energy drain makes it to the end. So yeah, this is the run, and I just want to give my thoughts on it now that I completed my first one, and maybe some tips for if you're thinking about trying it out and how you might be successful. All right, so I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit here so we can get closer. Here we are around 45. That's when I was hitting 9k. So the Corvus ones weren't too bad. You did have to get through their overguard, and I do wish I had the source magnetic. It would have just made it that much easier. The Corvus weren't the hardest things to kill. And when I'm talking about the units, I'm basically just talking about the Eximus. Everything else pretty much would just die easily, even without a full strip. The only non-Eximus units that kind of gave me a problem was the bombards, or whichever ones are not weak to corrosive. Those ones I would need to have my gun CO activated to kill. But other than that, the fodder was pretty easy. The overguard was tough to get through. That took a few shots. Like I said, magnetic would have been nice just to make it that much easier. The most difficult stuff to kill was definitely the Kuva Guardians were damn near impossible. I gave up killing those. But the Grineer units, the Eximus units that had the weakness to radiation, those were really tough to kill. As you can see, even the Nox is pretty easy. Because basically, I was not killing the Guardians, but as far as the demos go, the Bailiff, the Nox, and the Heavy Gunner, I think those are all weak to corrosion, and they were going down fairly easily. I definitely needed to keep up my gun CO stacks and keep up roar, so it didn't take forever, but yeah, as you can see here, trying to kill this Arson Eximus, I did start using the Revenant's dash around when he reaps and sows, or whatever it's called. And so that is nice, but it is inconsistent. I'm not exactly sure how the mechanics work, because theoretically, I mean, as far as my understanding goes, it should just one-shot everything, but sometimes you'll do it and it won't kill the enemy. Here's a little Bailiff action. As you can see, this Bailiff, it's not quite at level cap. It's getting close, but it's still taking, a decent amount of damage with these headshots. One thing I do want to say though about my loadout, I ran secondary shiver on the Onos, and I would not recommend that, because the problem with secondary shiver, it's really good against non-overguarded enemies and non-acolytes. So it's really good for the demos, But for killing Eximus units, the overguard makes it a pain because that caps the cold stacks up at 4, and so it just makes getting through the overguard that much harder. So if I ran it again, I'd probably just run deadhead. I was pretty much going for headshots the whole time anyway on the Onos, so yeah, probably just run deadhead to be your best bet because it'll be up most of the time. And that 3 times whatever it is, I think it's a 3 times head multiplier or a 30% head multiplier would be really, really good for taking out these Eximus units and demolists. So I'm on round 45. As you can see, it really did just start taking forever to get through this. Like, I just was not killing fast enough, and the drop rate on these keys is like horrible. Like, I swear I'd kill a entire horde of Eximus units and none of them would drop a key. That was more true earlier on the run when I was actually able to kill a whole horde of Eximus at the same time. By now, I pretty much have to shoot, a whole clip of Incarnon Onos ammo into their head in order for them to die. But it was, this was really, really fun. It's just fun when you start getting closer to that round 46, like just watching the levels go up. It's kind of like, everyone knows this Warframe, it's fun to see the big numbers, but seeing the enemy levels go up is actually really satisfying. So here's that's the bombard. I'm pretty sure the Eximus units that look like bombards are not weak to corrosive, and so that's why those ones were really hard for me to kill. So the last thing I want to talk about, I guess, that was a serious problem, and I'd lost like 3 lives on it, was not the acolyte, but the shadow of the acolyte. I had, speak of the devil, here's the acolyte. I had 2 shadows of the acolyte spawn. There's angst. The first one was shadow of angst, and the second one was shadow of something. I can't remember what. But both of them were basically immune to statuses. Like, I couldn't put any. Like, I couldn't put 4 stacks. Like, I couldn't put 0 stacks. They were completely immune to corrosive. I think it had like 1 stack of. It was really weird. It had like 1 stack of magnetic on it. It was super random, or maybe it was 1 stack of slash. But I couldn't partial strip it at all, and so my Onos was like doing no damage to it, and it had freaking teleport, so it would pull me to its feet, and then it had silence, so it would teleport me, silence me, get rid of my Mesmer skin, and then it had like a backstab move, and it was like Valkyr clawing around. I think it might have been invulnerable. I mean, this thing was fucking insane. So I don't know what's going on with the shadows of the things. It almost cost me the run. I lost 3 lives trying to get away from this thing. Finally, I was able to kill it. The first one I think I killed with like glaive spamming it, and then the second one I just dropped the on-call crew, and then I hid in my operator until the on-call crew just completely annihilated it. I used on-call as late as like level 6k, and it was still just completely annihilating the Demolisher. I have a Kuvazar equipped to it, and it just let off a volley of the Tsar and completely decimated it was the Kuva Guardian. So on-call crew definitely good for when you're in a pinch. But yeah, I just wanted to give my thoughts on the level cap run. If you want to know about the build or any tips for it, I'm obviously not an expert. This is my first time doing it. I can definitely say if you just want pure win mode, you just go Compressa, put a couple green shards on you, and then put Guncio on some crazy primary, and it's going to just annihilate anything. But I wanted to do something a little more fun, utilize the Glaxion and utilize the Onos, because I just think it's fun to use really powerful weapons that don't even need full strip and don't even need secondary encumber to do work. But yeah, that is for my first level cap run. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I shall see you next time.